Ah, hello there. It's me, Liam from Rock Paper Shotgun, and fancy seeing you here in the Half-Life 2 deathmatch map DM_killbox_final. Of all places. I'm here every night. I log on, wait for my mates to turn up so we can throw some saw blades at each other using gravity guns. I've been logging on since 2007. Starting to think maybe they all moved on to a different game and didn't tell me. I think I need to find something new to play. From shooters to sports, social deduction to strategy, the PC has long been the home for online multiplayer gaming. With very little in the way of barriers, there are few places better to challenge either friends or strangers to your game of choice. But with so much to choose from, it can be quite overwhelming to pick your next online multiplayer game. But no need to worry anymore, because I'm here to walk you through what we consider to be the 12 best multiplayer games you can play on PC right now. So, without further rambling, let's dive in. Kicking off our list, we have Hunt Showdown. Hunt is a nerve-shredding PvPvE FPS, which sees you hunt down an AI nasty hiding away on a map. The catch being other squads are also gunning for the same enemy as you. Oh, and another catch, if you die, you lose your equipment forever. That's what makes this game so high stakes, and ultimately, so much fun. Unlike many classical battle royales out there, Hunt Showdown separates itself from the competition with outstanding audio design. You'll hear gunshots ring out in the distance, alerting you to an enemy's presence. Footsteps pad on wood, the creak of a door opening. Your reliance on these small cues can mean the difference between winning a fight or losing all of your precious cargo. It's quite something. StarCraft 2. The holy grail of RTS design, and not for no reason. It's a slick, polished to perfection unit bosser that hasn't been bettered in the X years since it came out. God, it's hard though, at least if you want to compete on the ladder. That direction involves research, timing memorization, and a faster clicking finger than a snapping mousetrap. Playing with friends lets you be a little more goofy. Sometimes it's nice not to have to worry about Zerg rushes because you know your mate always plumps for Hydralisks. It's another one where playstyles lead to identities. I play a particular brand of Protoss because I'm a prick who loves the idea of kicking ass with all their fiddly units, when really I'm more cut out for siege tanks and marines. Among Us, a social deduction game where groups of 4 to 10 players attempt to maintain a spaceship while 1 or 2 of their crewmates only pretend to do so, because secretly, they're out for blood. As a crewmate, it's your job to chuck the imposter out into the vast expanse of space, but the beauty of Among Us is how it delegates the decision-making process to actual human conversations. When a body is found and an emergency meeting is called, those remaining must argue with one another over their microphones about who they think is responsible for stabbing Steve to death outside of engineering. Among Us asks a simple question. How proficient are you at lying to those you love? It's a game best played with friends, although the chances are high that those friendships will be tested over the course of a single, laughter-filled evening. It's popular for a reason, it's very bloody good. I've been playing Garry's Mod since 2006, which speaks volumes to its quality as a multiplayer platform that it's number 9 on our list an astonishing 17 years later. Originally devised as a tool that allowed players to fiddle around with the assets and physics simulation of Half-Life 2's source engine, Garry's Mod has developed into a sandbox for bonkers experimentation and expressions of wild imagination. There is an astonishing amount of things to see and do here, fueled by the game's seemingly endless selection of community-run servers. Prop Hunt, Trouble in Terrorist Town, Fretter, Garry's Mod is both a time capsule of modding as it existed in the late 2000s, as much as it is a contemporary multiplayer experience that defies modern industry practices. Regardless of how you view it, there's only one thing for certain. Gmod couldn't exist anywhere else other than on PC. Although Dota may have invented the concept of a multiplayer online battle arena, League of Legends arguably popularized it. 14 years after its debut, LoL's popularity shows no signs of waning, receiving multiple spin-off games, an animated Netflix series, and its own virtual K-pop band in the last couple of years. To try and describe League of Legends as simply as possible, 2 teams of 5 battle to destroy each other's nexus, a big crystal located in each base. As each match wears on, you'll get more powerful, kit your character out in new gear, and fight for map supremacy. I'd say it's best played with a friend who's already played it before, as there's a steep learning curve and a huge amount of depth to uncover here. But don't let that put you off, because this is really the appeal of League of Legends. Learning each character's intricacies and how best to work with your team to win important fights is a hugely rewarding activity. Also, KDA, great band. Grand Theft Auto Online may be linked to GTA 5, but it's very much its own universe. Hop online and up to 30 players can mess around in sandboxes designed for, well, practically everything. That's the thing about GTA Online. It's very difficult to get bored. There are mini-campaigns built around heists, or servers designed for role-playing, or Hot Wheels-esque tracks for whizzing about in. And much like many of the others on this list, GTA Online is constantly being updated with loads of new heists, servers, and more. If anything, it's only maturing with age, and is a theme park filled with excellent set pieces and tons of silliness. Definitely worth a crack. Minecraft is a blocky multiverse of possibilities. There's a server for basically anything in this survival game, which turns it from a survive with your friends by building stuff kind of experience into a survive to become the last person standing kind of multiplayer game. Heck, simply input a seed and you can just go about surviving in a really, really nice world. Or, if you're after something that isn't a traditional Battle Royale mode, you can take part in Bed Wars, a game mode which sees you protecting your bed or attempting to destroy other people's beds to win. You can even drop the whole PvP try not to die thing entirely and simply just spend a few hours building wild creations with strangers across the internet. Honestly, you can't go wrong here. Bombastic joy. Those are the 2 best words to describe Rocket League, a game about playing football with rocket-propelled cars. That joy kicks in from the very first second. Initially, it's quite scrappy, a mess that invokes childhood memories of school kids swamping the ball, not sparing a thought for teamwork or positioning. Now that can still provide a chaotic giggle or two, but Rocket League literally soars to greater heights once everyone knows what they're doing. A well-executed aerial shot is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a video game. Combining the boost button with a double jump at just the right time, at just the right angle, opens up a space for dexterous players that hover just out of reach, accessible only to the dedicated few, but on display for the masses to enjoy. Apex Legends is a blisteringly fast-paced battle royale game, where different characters face off to determine that they're the top survivor. And this is what sets it apart from the competition, as each character has 3 abilities to turn the tides of battle as opposed to, well, none in other games that belong to the same genre. Take Pathfinder, for instance, a robot with a grappling hook that lets you close the gap or escape from an enemy's clutches. It also lets you build up some sweet momentum so you can swing into the air, drop onto a ramp, and pull off a sweet, sweet slide. Again, that's something else Apex nails. A really good slide animation. Call of Duty's Battle Royale spin-off Warzone was considered one of the slickest in the genre upon its release. And well, Warzone 2 is that game's long-awaited sequel. While it might not be quite as gargantuan as its predecessor in terms of popularity, it's still a massive deal, with fantastic gunplay and COD's famously streamlined shooting and looting. You've got a plethora of attachments to match your playstyle here, along with a meta filled with loadouts that's constantly shifting. And considering Warzone 2 is free, you aren't going to be spending a dime. A great thing. What's more, it really looks the part for a free-to-play experience, giving you that big budget feel for £0. There's never a bad time to drop into Al Mazrah, in our opinion, a markedly better map than Warzone's Verdansk. The problem with talking about Team Fortress 2, Valve's unsurpassed class-based shooter, is that I'm in love with one particular version of it. It's the version where I get to play as the spy, the weakest character in the game when it comes to a face-to-face fight. His is a more stealthy approach, often revolving around his ability to turn invisible with the aid of his magic watch. That's deception of a sort, but not the kind that makes his the most unique and memorable role you can play in any other multiplayer game. You see, really, the joy of playing the spy is all about acting. It only takes one suspicious pyro for a ruse to come undone. Spy checking, after all, is an integral part of the game, but you'd be amazed at what you can get away with. Slap on a disguise, backpedal from the front lines while screaming for a medic, and 4 times out of 5, the most important person on the enemy team, their medic, it's always the medic, will trot right up to you. Now, maybe they'll try to give you an inquisitive whack with their bone saw, but if you know what you're doing, that whack won't land. You'll have already stabbed them in the back with your insta-kill knife. Each class in Team Fortress 2 plays like they belong to a completely different game, and some items even transform their wielder into new classes in their own right. I've spent hundreds of hours with the minigun wielding heavy and the turret building engineer, but it's the spy who ultimately stole my heart. Give him a chance, and maybe he'll steal yours or stab you. It's pretty big on the stabbing thing. Also, Team Fortress 2 is completely free. It feels contrived to describe Dota 2 as a hobby rather than a game, but that doesn't make that description any less fitting. Many have poured thousands of hours of their lives into it, and it's reasonable to assume they'll pour in thousands more. Dota isn't just a game. It's an eternally evolving battleground where limits are tested and friendships are forged. Sure, every competitive game is about testing limits, but part of what makes Dota special is how many it tests at once. There's the sheer amount of knowledge that it demands you absorb, the hundreds of items and spells and the endless interactions between them. You'll need to hone reflexes, develop strategies, and learn to be patient with both yourself and others. Dota is stupendously silly, and I mean that both in the sense that it's ostensibly about wizards trying to knock over rock gardens that form fragments of a sentient moon, and in a mechanical sense too. You could learn a language or several in the time many have spent playing Dota, but almost every match still includes unexpected moments that make me gasp and giggle. It's a phenomenal, brilliant thing, and, like many other entries on this list, completely free. I'm starting to think this isn't the right Team Fortress. Thank you so much for watching. You, what's your favourite multiplayer game? Tell me immediately in the comments below. This video has been adapted from an article originally written by Ed Thorne for the Rock Paper Shotgun website. All of the good words are his, basically. If you want to read his full list of 25 best online multiplayer games, make sure to check out that article. There's a link in the description below. For all your PC gaming needs, of which I'm sure there are many, make sure to check out rockpapershotgun.com. I'll be back very soon with more videos. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.